Welcome back to my channel or whatever. I just recorded the whole thing. I thought I was press record. I never did. It was deep too. On my Instagram at the Hood Hippie, if you don't follow me, you definitely should be following me. I posted a little question and I asked you guys if you've ever been in a toxic relationship. If so, how did you know it was toxic and when did you know it was time to go? The responses I received from that was extremely overwhelming. Like, y'all niggas have been through some shit. I wanted to make this video and give you guys 10 signs that you may be in a toxic relationship. It seems like a lot of people either were not aware until it was too late, or they knew right away and they just didn't give a fuck and they just waited until it was too late. I want people to be healthy and have healthy connections because that's what we all deserve, right? We are some bad bitches.
I heard you bitches was looking for me. Bitch, here I go. I heard you bitches was looking for me. Bitch, here I go.
So the first thing I'm gonna do is go through 10 signs to know you're in a toxic relationship. Number 1. If you find yourself checking your partner's phone, all that basically means is you don't trust them. And without trust, there is no relationship. And everyone deserves privacy in relationships. Everyone deserves to have their own life in a relationship. You guys can have your own lives in a relationship. Did you guys know that? Like, so if you find yourself like really stressed and pressed because you don't know what's going on in this nigga phone, it may be a little toxic. Number 2, you find yourself afraid to say how you really feel because you're scared of abandonment. You're scared this nigga gonna leave you if you tell him that hurt your feelings. Then end up muting your truth. Like, you're not able to speak your truth in a situation. That made me upset, but I'm not gonna say nothing because I don't wanna fight and I don't want this nigga to leave me. I don't wanna be alone. If that's where your thought process goes, it may be a little toxic. Number 3. If there is emotional manipulation present, meaning someone says shit like this: well, you all I got, I don't have nobody else, it's only you. Okay, obvious one is like, I'm gonna kill myself if you leave me. That shit is very serious and that does happen in very toxic situations. I can't live without you, I can't find myself living without you. Those are red flags. Run for the hills. Seek help, seek professional services, give them the suicide hotline if we're there. But oftentimes in my experience, I've seen that as just a tactic to get you to stay, because they know that you actually do care about them and you don't want them to end up harming themselves or harming someone else. So they pull the string to get you to perform how they want you to perform, and that is toxic. Everyone should be allowed to make their own free will thoughts and choices. Number 4. You can't be apart from this person because you're afraid that they're either going to cheat on you or that they're going to leave you. Meaning they can't go hang out with their friends because you don't know who's gonna be there and you don't know if he gonna cheat on you, she gonna cheat on you, they gonna cheat on you. They can't go to the movies with the homie because you don't know what's going on. So instead of that, they're not allowed to have friends. They can't have their own Facebook. It's you. You're attached at the fucking hip because you don't trust this person. That is a sign that your relationship is likely toxic. That is not healthy. Like I said earlier, everyone should be able to go their separate ways, have their own lives, and still function properly in the relationship. You should not be afraid every time this nigga is outside of your eyesight. That's not healthy, that's stressful, and that's not sustainable. That it ain't gonna last, okay? Number 5, the relationship is one-sided. You always apologizing, you always doing the work, you always paying the bills, you always, you know, trying to work it out, you always trying to make it work. Like, that is a one-sided relationship. If the person you're engaging in a partnership with is not being a partner, you are not in a relationship, sis. Like, it may be a little toxic. You may want to think about what's going on. If you are doing all of the changing, if you are doing all of the growing by your goddamn self, something ain't right. I'm telling you, like, you should really take a step back. Take a step back and really be like, damn, so I changed, I did this, and you still the same trifling ass nigga you was when I first met you. If you ask me to do X, Y, and Z and I do it immediately, but you still are not showing up to help meet my needs in this relationship, it may be a little toxic. Number 6. This is like, I shouldn't even have to say this, but if there's any physical abuse, that's just like hands down, something's wrong, you need to leave, right? One that often gets like forgiven much easier than physical abuse, which is verbal abuse. Verbal abuse is sneaky, right? Verbal abuse manifests in arguments. It manifests in mostly arguments and disagreements, or it could manifest in just like your everyday situation if that person is that toxic. But in my experience, I've seen it manifest for myself and my friends when it comes to disagreements and arguments. There is a thing as fighting fair. We've seen this on How to Get Married. What's the name? Why Did I Get Married? They talk about fighting fair. Janet Jackson and her nigga, and Angela and her nigga, they wasn't fighting fair. They was going for the jugular, right? When somebody's going for the jugular when you guys fight, that is not healthy. You know why? Because those things that they said, they fucking meant it. They called you a fat, raggedy ass, broke ass bitch when y'all was fighting. That nigga really feels that way about you. But when you're not fighting, he's able to like put those thoughts in the back of their mind. I don't firmly believe that anyone who says that they love me could call me a broke ass, raggedy ass, fat ass bitch, and then the next day be like, I love you though, I was just mad. Like, no. No. That's not gonna work for me. That's not gonna work for me. I know I have friends who've told me some of the things their partners have said to them, and I'm like, that is not okay. Why would they tell you that? Like, that's fucked up. That's evil and it's mean. And I would never say that to somebody that I truly loved and I truly cared about their mental and their well-being, because they know your buttons, they know your insecurities, and for you to use them against me in an argument means that you don't really fuck with me like that, bro. Like, you don't fuck with me. Like, you don't fuck with me, period. Like, let's stop pretending that you do. And I know that it's really tough to like own that and be like, he was just mad, the heat of the moment, or I said some things and da-da-da-da, and like, nah, it's not okay. I've gotten angry and I've said things that I did not mean, but I've never gotten angry and said things about my partner's character, their physical body, their like insecurities or things like that. I may have been like, this is fucked up and I don't give a fuck, like, you know, things like that when you're angry, which is also not healthy, but that's another story for another day. I'm more so speaking about physical and verbal attacks and abuse on your person and on your character. That's fucked up, and you don't really recover from those. In the back of your mind, you always gonna be thinking you a broke ass, fat ass, ugly ass bitch, and it's gonna take work to get that out of your subconscious, that this person who supposedly love you put that there. Like, let's really think about that. Like, number 7. Oh, I guess number 7 I had was you fight dirty, but I already said that for number 6, physical and verbal abuse. So it's the same like concept. If you fighting dirty, then I'm not fucking with you. That shit is toxic. Number 8, your partner has a substance problem. So this is one that I also feel like is not discussed enough. I've been in a relationship with someone who had a substance problem, and I'm not talking like needs to go to AA meetings, but also needs to stop fucking drinking. Like, your drinking is fucking things up in a lot of different ways, and you're making really bad choices when you drink, and you're drinking every day, and like navigating through that and trying to be a supportive person and being like, hey, maybe you shouldn't drink today, when the person is like, bitch, I need to drink because of X, Y, and Z. I need to get through this day. I'm not happy, I'm depressed, whatever. You as a partner, you always want better for your person, and sometimes you want better for them than they want for themselves, and that is extremely draining, because it's not your job to do the work for them. And when you have a partner who has a substance problem, they have to take time to focus on themselves and get that under control before they'll ever be able to be in a fair two-sided relationship with you. The definition of someone who has an addiction is when you're doing something that's interrupting your relationships in life. Relationship with your partner, your relationship with your children, your relationship with your job, your relationship with your church. When your hobby becomes a problem is when it starts to interrupt relationships. So if your partner is drinking in a capacity that interrupts their ability to function or show up in your relationship, show up for your kids, show up for work, they have a problem. And if they have a problem, you don't have a problem. I'm speaking to people who are in who are not married, by the way, and even people who are married, like, that you guys need to go to counseling for that. If you are just like a boyfriend girlfriend type situation with someone and they have a substance problem, you should give them their space to work through that problem, because at the end of the day, you can't force them to stop drinking. They'll just not drink around you, which means they'll probably be around you less, and they're gonna do whatever the fuck they want to do. It's not your burden to bear, and it's not your job to become codependent with them in this alcoholism. So number 9, your partner brings out the worst in you. If your partner brings out the worst in you, you may be in a toxic situation. Let's say, for example, your partner cheats on you with some girl, and a girl's calling your phone, and now you gotta go beat the bitch up, slash her tires, then you got arrested, and then you showed up to her job and like was shooting guns in a parking lot. That brought out the worst in you, sis. And we've all been there, haven't we? I've cursed out a bitch or two in my life. I'm just saying, like, and that's not my natural personality. I'm non-confrontational. I don't like to argue. I don't like to fight. And sometimes people just push, and then you explode. So if you're with someone who constantly puts you in a position to bring out the worst in you instead of the best in you, you may be in a toxic situation. Like for me, another example of that, which is what I've actually done, is it goes back to like the checking the phones and stuff. Like I've hacked a phone, I've hacked a Facebook, I've hacked the iMessage, I've hacked email, social security number, whatever the fuck, trying to figure out the context clues to put the puzzle together, because shit was not adding up. 1 + 1 was not equaling 2, and it was driving me insane. Like, but it was bringing out the worst in me. Like, why am I doing the most? I'm doing the fucking most trying to solve this problem when I have a person who should just be honest and tell me the motherfucking truth, and then I wouldn't have to do all this extra FBI looking ass, extra goofy looking shit. Like, bringing out the worst in me. I haven't done that since, you know what I'm saying? It's been years. I haven't done no weirdo shit like that, because number one, it's not who I am. I spoke earlier about having privacy and everyone being able to just do their own thing, and we're in this together but separately. But when someone's bringing out that characteristic that you know is just not really your style, it may be a little toxic. Number 10 would be, well, I guess I'll put this as number 9. I already did number 9. Number 10 will be, it's bad more than it's good. And we all know when it's bad more than it's good. You know this deep down inside. You know when it's bad more than it's good. I know that we lie to ourselves. I know we tell ourselves that things will get better. I know we focus on the good times. We focus on the beginning, which for most people is good. I know some people with some rocky beginnings, but most people have good beginnings, and that's what you focus on the most. But the reality is, if you're stressed more than you're smiling, it may be toxic, and it may be time to go. And that was 10, but I'm gonna give you one more. I'm gonna do 11. The 11th sign that you may be in a toxic situation is if you're watching this video. When I was going through my shit, I was Googling all kind of resources trying to figure out if I was in that bucket. If I was, if it was so unhealthy, or was I just tripping? You knew when before you clicked the video that shit wasn't right. You knew that you don't feel good. You know that you're unhappy, and that's why you're watching this video. It does get better. Being alone is scary. Starting something new is scary, and change is scary, especially when you really fuck with somebody and you really love someone. Focus on you. You can stay in it if you need to. If it's not, today is not the time for you to let it go, that's fine. But while you're in it, focus on you. Stop doing all the labor. Stop doing all the work that is, if you're the only one showing up, if you're the only one being present, put that energy into yourself. Domestic violence is never motherfucking okay. Oh, I cannot, like, people die from domestic violence. Like, I hope y'all understand that this shit is like, my aunt was murdered in a domestic violence situation. The shit is no joke. You never know. Like, you think you know somebody, and then one day you say the wrong thing. You know, we talked about fighting dirty. You say the wrong, my aunt had a slick mouth, you know what I'm saying? And she said the wrong thing to someone that she fucked with, and the nigga shot her. Like, that's just what it is. And domestic violence is just not okay. Being in toxic situations, I know that shit is glorified on TV. It's cute on TV. Oh, I'm sorry, man. You know I'm crazy. Like, that shit is not cute. Being crazy is not fucking cute. I don't know. I just said that to say, like, I don't know who's watching and I don't know what the fuck you're going through, but all I know is, bitch, you gotta get your shit together. You gotta get your shit together for yourself at the end of the day. If you got kids, you gotta get it together for them. That's it, period, boo. That's all I got. That's all I got. I want better for you. I want better for you. There is better out there, even if it means being by yourself, because you're better. That's corny, but it's the fucking truth. It's better than stressing every day. It's better than fucking can't eat because you got anxiety and you nauseous and shit. It's better than not sleeping because you waiting on this nigga to come home. It's better than any of that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's better than being disrespected once a month, once a week, every other day. You know, like, it's better than going through these arguments, these cycles of pain. Stay free, okay? And listen, I know I'm not all like deep and like namaste like some of these other like healing bitches on these platforms, but I'm just a real nigga and I just want y'all to like get your shit together at the end of the day, like, period. I'm just trying to get my shit together. Like I said, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get, whether it's the hood or the hippie